I'm seeing a lot of people calling for this to be the bottom on Bitcoin. However, they might be missing some key elements to the charts that could get them on the wrong side of the markets. Let me explain why in this very important update. But first of all, as usual, if we recap what happened since our last update, if you remember, price was around $100,000 and we still wanted to see lower prices. We had two support levels, 96.7 and 94.8, but ideally, I wanted to see the drop towards 94.8 to then see a reversal to the upside. So what did we do inside the Discord was that when we got the first drop to our first support level, we had the 4-hour imbalance at the lows, and when I saw this wick formed, I did decide to take a long position simply because it was a pretty nice reaction on my level, but I did decide to close it just a bit later because if I open the chart again, as you can see, we had no continuation at all. And that's not what you want to see when you have a big imbalance at the lows. What you want to see usually is a quick continuation higher, a fill of the imbalance, and a break above the high of the candle, which did not happen right there. So that's why I said that what I wanted to see next was $94,800. So if we open the charts, if we remain patient for our level, 94.8, in the end, if I go on the 15-minute chart, it didn't offer any reaction at all. So no trades were offered. So all in all, price action was pretty simple. We did expect lower prices. Even though I took a small loss on my first support level, no reaction was offered on the second support level, so nothing had to be done there. So back over to the Discord, when I saw this move the next day, what I wanted to see was a rally back towards the daily open for the fill of the imbalances. If I open the chart, we had two pretty big hourly imbalances right there that I wanted to see filled, and the daily open came in right on top of them at $97,600. So the scenario that I gave was a drop to my support level. That was the only support level that I had, $94,600. I wanted to see the drop to my support, the bounce towards the daily open, and then a continuation to the downside. And the reason that I wanted to see a continuation to the downside was because, as I said in my last update, losing 94.8 would be a big sign of weakness. But in the end, what happened? Again, very simple. We dropped to my support level, we got the bounce, and when we reached the daily open, we had no rejection. As I said, no rejection. So right now, we can expect higher prices. And back to the charts, as you can see, that's exactly what happened. If I just show you my support level, 94.6, we got the drop to my support and a very nice reversal to the upside. But now, with all of this out of the way, what's happening right now on the charts and what can you expect next? Well, first of all, as I said, a lot of people are calling for this to be the bottom. However, personally, at this point at least, I don't really agree with this view. Let me explain why. So if you go on the daily chart, everyone is talking about this daily candle. We have a massive wick to the downside, a pretty large body, and a close near the highs, which is indeed a very bullish candle pattern in general. However, what most people are failing to notice is that this candle didn't actually do anything. It appeared in the middle of this range, which has been going on for a while. As you can see, it appeared right in the middle. It dropped, it didn't take out any major lows, and it bounced back up and didn't even take out any major highs. So at the end of the day, even though this candle does look very nice, honestly in my view it didn't do much. It simply dropped, didn't take out any major level, bounced, and also did not take out any major level to the upside. And the second thing to note is that if you go on the 4-hour chart and take the volume profile of this range, Bitcoin bounced off the value area low, which got reached once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and now 6 times. So with that said, do I personally believe that Bitcoin put in a new all-time high, so gave us a fake out of the old all-time high, came back down all the way down towards the low of the range to not take out any major level, and then get another reversal to the upside and a new all-time high again? In my view, it doesn't really make sense. I could be wrong, of course, but that's why, as usual, we'll outline support and resistance levels. But for now, as I said, I don't believe that this is a low on Bitcoin. It just doesn't look very nice. On top of that, we have another very important thing to note, and that would be on Ethereum. So if you look at Ethereum, we have the same thing. On the daily chart, we have a massive wick to the downside. First of all, this wick is not very healthy in my opinion. But second of all, the exact same thing. Did Ethereum drop all the way down from $4,000 to $2,000 to front run all of the liquidity below this low at $2,100? Because if I zoom in, as you can see, price did not take out this level. So in my opinion, again, on Ethereum, this job is not finalized yet. I would like to see another job and for price to drop back below $2,000 and take out the liquidity below this low. And with all of this in mind, now we can go back to Bitcoin, and I hope that you better understand why personally I don't really like this low. Again, as I said, we had a major drop, but it didn't really do anything at the end of the day. In any case, as usual, we cannot be blindly bearish, we have to outline support and resistance levels. So first of all, to the upside, the resistance that I was interested in was this imbalance. So we have an hourly imbalance and we have a 4-hour imbalance that isn't tapped at all. However, as price front run my level and completely left this imbalance behind, personally at this point I would actually still like to see higher prices and potentially to come back up above this high, test this imbalance, and if we see a rejection and a break back below this high, then this could offer a pretty nice short position for lower prices to come, a break back below this low, but also a break of $90,000. So that's mainly what I'm looking at to the upside. It would be again this imbalance. We have an hourly imbalance and you have a 4-hour imbalance. However, I do have to say that if we want this scenario to play out, so for Bitcoin to come back up above this high, ideally price does need to reverse pretty soon, because if we do drop lower, then it becomes much less likely that we get a very big bounce, take out this high, and then come all the way back down. To me, this doesn't really make sense. It's still possible, of course, but as I said, ideally, I would like to see a bounce pretty soon, so maybe from here, or one more drop to the downside, but I would like to see a bounce, take out the high. If we see a rejection, could offer a nice short position. If we see no rejection, then this could offer much higher to come. And what would be a bullish sign on Bitcoin? Well, it would simply be the same imbalance on the 4-hour chart. Is price is able to come back up and clear this imbalance, so break above $105,400, then this would be a very bullish sign, of course, and at this point we could expect higher prices and a potential new all-time high on Bitcoin. But at this point, this candle should in theory act as resistance, so again, if we come up to it and we see a rejection, then this could offer a nice short position. And then what do we have to the downside? Well, honestly, I don't have any very strong support level. Of course, the first support is the same logic as the resistance. We have this imbalance, we just tapped into it and we are seeing a nice bounce to the upside right now. Plus, on the 15-minute chart, we do have a 15-minute imbalance at the lows, which is very nice to see. But back on the 1-hour chart, personally, I would mark out the low of this imbalance, so 96.6k, and then we also have this imbalance, 94.7k. In my view, if we drop all the way back down towards 94.7k, then this would be a pretty bearish sign, and at this point, if we do see a bounce, I wouldn't really expect price to come up and take out this high and then see a rejection. So if we do see a bounce, I would probably look for local resistances and then a continuation lower. But right now, as I said, Bitcoin is holding the top of this imbalance. It's offering a decent bounce. We have a 15-minute imbalance, so it could start to move up from here or probably take out the low one more time. And from there, we can see if we get a swing failure pattern of the low or a fill of the hourly imbalance and then a reversal higher. However, if we continue on moving up from here, of course, that would be perfect, and I would look for price to come back up above this high. So all in all, that was mainly it for this update. I'll do a quick simple recap. Personally, I don't really like this low on Bitcoin because, as I said, it didn't take out any major levels, even though we saw a lot of liquidations. Same thing on Ethereum, you saw that it front run $2,000, so that's why overall I would actually expect lower prices. On the lower time frames, I would like to see a bounce on Bitcoin, take out the high one more time, and then see a reversal to the downside. However, if we don't see a reaction against my imbalance and we continue higher, then this would be a very bullish sign, and at this point you could expect a new all-time high on Bitcoin. So as usual, if you guys enjoyed this update, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.